No black hats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen. Welcome to the end of an era, the end of year 5. Perfect Parlay Pursuit live on YouTube. Primetime Perfect Parlay Pursuit. Primetime Triple P, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, we're coming here May 6th for posterity purposes. This show was started May 9th, 2020, when Tony Ferguson fought Justin Gaethje, bringing sports back to America, bringing sports back to the world. When Tony Ferguson sacrificed himself through that crucible, when he put himself through that to bring sports back to the world. Thank you, Tony Ferguson. We started the show, and it has been now 5 complete years. We are beginning year 6 of the Perfect Parlay Pursuit. If you look at the Perfect Parlay Pursuit logo, if you look at the PPP, you turn a P upside down, it's a 6. 666 PPP, year 6. The number of the beast. This is the season of the beast. And we're going to do a full recap of year 5. We're going to break down the upcoming card, UFC 3.
I think a 6 upside down is a Q.
What'd you say?
I think a 6 upside down is a Q.
A P. If you turn a P, you have to flip it. You have to flip it like a pancake, and then you tack it, and then it'll be a 6. Yeah, you could do some weird configuration. Either way, guys, look, P. Right, that's a P. That's a 6. I didn't move my hands at all. Okay, so, guys, it's the beginning of year 6. We're gonna break down UFC 315. Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena, Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot, full card, top to bottom, main card, and prelims. We're going to get there in about 20 minutes. First, we're going to give you a full rundown because I just spent an hour of my life going through all the data of year 5, and I have all the data from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. The problem is I'm the one always record keeping, and I don't do a great job. I have 2 children. I have a wife. I have, all these different things in my life, and every time I'm doing it, I'm like, if everybody would just keep track of their own records week to week in the common spreadsheet that I've so graciously created, available patreon.com/perfectplaypursuit. You can get access to the open bet sheet. It is what it is. We'll get to that later. But my point is, we have this repository that we can all post to easily. My goal for year 6 is to make the Patreon accessible open bet sheet for you guys like your left hand and your right hand, for you guys like your Instagram app and your DoorDash app. Like, I want this to be like an app that you just are like, yeah, well, of course I'm going to, and I want you to feel good about it because I feel good about it when I post and I can see in the spreadsheet all the bets that I have active, and I can literally just use the second tab and do the math and be like, all right, I'm out this much for the night. And hey, who should be taking gambling advice from me, guys? If you look at my total from the year 5 challenge, it says a lot. We're going to have to talk through all this, guys. There's a lot to unpack. But first, let's just check in with the boys. We had a UFC card last weekend. It was won. There were things that happened. We have to talk about that too. There's a lot to get to. Dan, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to see how your weekend was. But before I get there, I just want to let you know that now, coming off being the victor in year 4, going into year 5, you not only won in the sense that you were the last man standing, you preserved your bankroll. Although it was an entropic journey for you from $1,000, and for those of you who are just tuning in and you don't know what we've been doing for the last year, it would surprise me if this were the case, but we started with $1,000 and we said, let's see who can take this $1,000 bankroll, tracking every bet we make on UFC, from $1,000 to untold fortunes. As you can see, there's only one of us with their head above water. We'll get to Alex in a minute, but what Dan was able to do was Alex and I crashed out from the 1,000 to 0 faster than him, so we had to pay him directly. We had a cash prize that we awarded to Dan directly for being the last man standing. That was your first victory this season. Your second victory, Dan, is that over the course of year 5, you made 278 correct picks out of 472 given. Now, we are missing one event data. That was the event a few events ago when it was opening day of baseball and we gave you the day off. Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. I need your picks for that event, but I don't really think it's going to sway it to a factor of 13, which is your lead over second place, Alex. 265 correct picks given out of 472. So Dan finishes very strong in year 5 with 278 correct picks given out of 472. Now, like I said, we're missing data from one event, but either way, it's 58.89% accurate. We'll call it 59. I mean,
Wow.
you're pushing 60% accurate. And the event, Lerone Murphy versus Josh Emmett, you could give me that data, and this could be fucking bumped up to 59 easily. So I want to see what that data is. Not that it'll really, sway. It's not going to sway at a full percentage point. You're at 58 or maybe 59% tracked in terms of your picks. And I think that's very impressive. I'm very proud of you. And the fact that you're down $3,000 right now, I'm even more proud of you because it says you don't give a fuck. You're willing to fucking put yourself in an uncomfortable position. You're willing to get yourself out of your comfort zone. You're willing to play hardball, take big swings, and now I feel like your back's against the wall. You're going to be more motivated than ever.
Oh,
Dan never took a big swing once. Is the big issue here? Is like I don't understand how he can be down so much, betting $10 a week.
It's not $10.
And that's more than $10 a week.
Range. It's the 100 range actually. But what I do with that 100 is what matters here. Is that I'm taking those $2.50 to $5 bets that will pay out the 25, the 50 G's. Okay, is it a low percentage? Yes, but I'm confident that one day in the near future I will hit one of those. It's bound to happen. The numbers suggest this. Damn near 60%, as Luke said. I'm quite flabbergasted. In the green room, Alex was telling me that I was only 4 picks ahead. Turns out I'm 13 picks ahead of second place. So, listen,
and Alex, listen, it's not
I hope you guys are like, high tide raises all ships. I hope you all get there. I hope we're all profitable.
I hope one day you guys will be out of the red. That is my wish for you. You're making all these correct picks. You can't even keep your head above water over here.
Listen. I literally just said I hope we all do well. If you're trying to shoot me down, okay?
I'm gonna shoot everybody down because right now, as a pod,
of you as a younger brother.
Right now, as a pod, Dan, I don't know if you know math at all, Mr. History, but you guys are down $10,000 combined, over $10,000 combined, and I'm the only saving grace here. I'm trying to make sure the people over here win money. And at the end of the day, that's all I can do when I'm just getting sucked down. I'm getting convinced into getting off of picks that I know I should be on when I probably could be up $7,000 right now. If I never got convinced by one of you knuckleheads, I'd probably be up $7,000 right now. But I'm listening to Dumb and Dumber, Ren and Stimpy, and I don't know where to go from here.
First, hold on. Let me just say this. Let me get my last point in here, okay? The vast majority of our traffic comes in through the videos that you find people are watching right now. We don't give parlays on the show. We give parlays on our Patreon, patreon.com/perfect parlay pursuit. And right now, that number of Patreon subscribers is a lot less than the actual people who are watching the show. Therefore, my percentage of picks, which is 13 picks higher than yours, is much more valuable than the people going off the parlays. Okay.
If you can communicate this product, you can make money off the product.
It's not a difficult concept to understand. And by the way, probably most people aren't going on every single parlay that you and I do, and they're going to come out with your 450 and my minus 2325. Okay. So that doesn't even matter. What matters is the picks, which I have a higher percentage than you. I really didn't want it to come to this. I don't know why.
I am only worse than you right now because I have a ball sack on me. And sometimes when it's a minus 1,300 favorite, I say, that's not worth it. We're going with the other guy.
People with ball sacks don't quit like you did. You actually quit in the middle of the season. So, okay. No, you don't have a ball sack.
You can't make a return without going away for a little.
Okay, listen. Either way, Alex is wrong because Triple B certified picks for the, 5th season in a row lead the way. 65.8% accurate. Guys, I mean, if two out of three Triple B certified picks are coming in accurate, I don't need to go through the whole spiel again. That's for next week. I'm going to talk about that next week when I have some real data for that. But Trilby certified picks, 127 correct Trilby certified picks out of 193 given. I mean, coming in with less than 200 picks in a year that are 66% accurate.
66 books in the Bible.
Really?
That's
Yeah. I mean, it's
that's
twice
not good.
as much as
That's not
33.
good that there's 66 books in the Bible. That's 1/6 away from being absolutely horrible.
I mean, listen, it's year 6. There's 66 books in the Bible. We're 66% accurate. And if we all come together, the three of us, 3 squared is 9, and 3 times 2 is 6. So like we can listen. I'm just saying, like we can do this if we just come together on some trophy certified picks and bet them when they are okay. Let's think, right? So 65% accurate odds calculator, and then you look at it, you go, okay, my implied odds are 65%, but we don't want 65% because that's the break even points. We're gonna go 60%. Okay, guys, if we have a trophy certified pick that is minus 150 or better, if it's a dog, if it's minus 150, if it's minus 160, no, maybe. If it's minus 200, nah, we're not doing that, But just trophy certified picks minus 150 to minus 180 range. That's the golden ratio. If we can just all remind each other of that every week and just only bet those picks, I think I'll have some data next week to back it up. We'll see what the
This isn't a pot of peace and love. I want to fucking kill you guys, gambling wise. Not actually. I want you guys to lose all your bets, and I want me to win them.
It's not me versus you, Alex. It's us.
It is.
It's us versus just truth. It's not even, people say it's us versus the bookies. No, it's us versus what is going to happen. It's like if I grabbed you in an alley and I was like, these 2 people are going to fight, who is going to win? It's not like, well, what are the odds? Like, no, I'm just, who do you think is going to win? That's all I want to know. I just want to know, who do you think is going to win and why? And then if it makes sense. Like, I have some thoughts on this weekend's card. I want to make sure we touch on last weekend's card. Guys, when it comes to my score, I was the leader at one point. I had, close to $4,000. I had immediately.
So if you really think about it, you alone lost 10 grand this year because at one point you had
we all have something.
No, because if you remember,
you really do.
All right. So if you guys were watching this year's season, I went up immediately. First few events, I bring my total to about 3.9K within like a few months.
You were
a month and a half.
You were the golden goose. Oh.
I lay a lot of that 3.9K, not a lot. I lay 1,000 on Ikram Aliskerov to beat Rob Whittaker. Boom. Now I'm down to like 2.9. Hey, 2.9. I'm still up almost triple what I put into this, and that was kind of where I was at. And it was a journey from that 3.9 all the way down to minus $1,600. Then I bring that minus 1,600 up back to above 2,000. So I won another 4 to make up for the 4 that I lost, essentially. But no, and then from there I lost all that, and it's been an entropic journey from there. But if you do the math, right, the amount of money I lost this year divided by the amount of months in a year, it's $550 a month, guys. It's $138 a week. Okay, I have so many friends who will go just after work on a fucking Friday and drop 138 on drinks, on snackatizers, on all sorts of different things at the bar. Like, they will buy their friends drinks, like they'll give a big tip and they'll drop 138 on a Friday before they even go out for Saturday, before they even go to brunch on Sunday. So the price for me to be able to, I'm aiming for more than 6.6K.
Well, that's on top of the $2.5 grand you had to pay for fights all year.
That is true.
ESPN Plus militia.
Well, let's hope they go to Disney Plus. Let's hope we get it with the Disney Plus, and then we can we're good on that. We're good on that front. Then we're saving a lot of money, but we can reinvest that money that we save. So, point is, next week this number is washed away, and I propose, we tried something new with year 5. You can't just give up after one try. You got to go another try. You got to go another round. I think we have to improve some stakes. I think we have to impose some more
What do I get
restrictions.
for being the only one above the
You
negatory over here?
You get. I actually have a solution for that too. I think that you get to start the year at 1450.
Okay, and you guys start at
No.
5,642, and you
So
start at negative
that's
3,000.
your reward. For us, it's a cleansing ritual. We cleanse ourselves. Trust me, it'll be in the back of my mind. It'll be in the back of my mind, and I will be referencing it again. I will reference it again once I'm back above that number. It'll be a triumphant tale that I tell next year. But until then, we're gonna just
Luke,
go in
you're either
silence.
hitting us with the Men in Black pen right now, or you live with the Scarlet Letter and live to tell the tale. You get to choose.
Why are
It's
you
the hero's journey?
You're the one who is getting a 45% advantage over both of us going into year 6, and yet
I want more.
You want less. But you're giving me the option. You're saying it could be I'll have no advantage, or you have a massive disadvantage. I'm like, well,
No.
When you put it that way,
No. You either can never talk about it and we erase this from our memory, like Men in Black, or you can talk about it, but you got to wear the Scarlet Letter.
Listen, every season ends, dude. They don't make the fucking Jaguars come into next season with a 4-12 record. Like they don't, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You refresh, you come back, you go to the locker room, you come back. Like I actually go to the locker room. I just went through all the data. I'm looking through things. I'm going, okay, all right, yeah, could have done this better, could have done that better. I have a lot of thoughts now about how to not let this happen again, how to move forward, and how to, get even or get even worse at the end of the day, right?
I mean, you're getting even.
I think when I come back as a heavyweight, I'll try to do more legally controversial shit.
You're getting even regardless. You're not even getting even. You're getting up $1,000.
A long way. It's not really, when you swing like I swing, it's not that long of a way to go. Like it's a hop, skip, and a jump.
It's an even further hole.
I went from 1,000 to 3,900, I think, in 2 weeks, and then I went from, it was a certain amount of weeks, but then I went from. I lost it very quick, but then I won it back. I won that back in 2 events, Alex. 2 events I won.
Carrie Jane is not your wife. You don't need to explain into such detail about how quickly you can come back.
We went through it that one episode. We went through it. We said here was how the year, and I'll do that again next week. I'll go through the ups and the downs, But anyway, I mean, hey, I'm down a few units. We'll make it up.
I'd say you're down 1 unit.
I'm down. I mean, I have this. What the problem is, I have an income problem. I need to make more money so that my unit size increases. This is then a drop in the bucket. It's like, oh wow, I'm only down a unit. So here's hoping.
Money add then multiply. I call it mathematics.
All right, let's just talk about it. Bo Nickel. Ashamed that Renier Ritter wasn't Trophy certified. I'm ashamed. I'll say it. I was watching the fight going like, yeah, of course. Obviously. Best value you were ever going to get. Worst value you're ever going to get betting against Bo Nickel. But just in terms of this is the one. This is, this is actually the one. And this is why. And this is why the pressure was released. And it was not actually, it was just enticing enough to want to take Bo and just enticing enough to not really want to take Renier de Ritter. It was like, we were, the market was trained to perfection in that bout. Pavlov's dog.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid on our part. It was. I do feel a little shame, to be honest. Hindsight 2020, but where do we think Bo goes from here? Is he good at all?
I think it's we overvalued Bo and undervalued RDR. I think it's a scenario of both can be true and not true. Bo was a little overrated. Renier de Ritter was criminally underrated.
I'll be honest, that knockout though, I don't think many guys would be knocked out by that knee. He really crumbled.
It was
Well,
an accumulation.
It was
It
an
is-
accumulation.
it
There were a
is-
few.
Like
There were a
yeah,
few really solid body shots, and you get dude RDR. This is who I thought RDR was, that kind of fighter. When I wanted to bet on him against GM3, I was like, should I take him by knockout? Why is by knockout 10-1? I'm like, this is crazy. Like, isn't he a Dutch kickboxer? And he's walking to the octagon, and they're like, you would think he's a kickboxer, but no. I'm like, well, fuck. All right. Well, I still thought though, I was like, but it's kind of like, you still got it in you. You're gonna fucking start throwing some knees around, and that's exactly what he did to Bo. What I hoped or thought he might do against GM3, but it seemed to me like,
GM3 also criminally underrated. I mean, you look at how RDR looked against GM3. These are a lot of initials I'm throwing at you guys.
Here's my thing. What do you do with Bo next, Dan? There are no easy fights in the UFC. You give them one of 2 or 3 guys. You give him Joe Pyfer. You give him
I think you think Piper would kill him. Kerry James.
Speak of the devil. Nice to catch
Did
you
you
live.
hear Alex's shout out? He did not even know that you said that he has no visibility in these comments. I keep them completely hidden from him. Very nice to see you, Carrie Jane. Bo said it was the exactly, Carrie. That's what we were saying. It's the accumulation of body shots. What up, 305 chunks? Leon versus Masvidal.
That was something.
Is that announced? I have no knowledge of this.
Right.
But Carrie Jane, great to see you. So happy you're here with us.
Same with you, Chunks.
I think
imagine that's Chunky Hundo in the Discord.
And let me tell you guys this. One day when I was a very, very new father, like 3 years ago, I hear my daughter crying. And, when you're a new father, you just want to spring into action on everything. So I run into the bedroom. I cut the corner. And this very big dresser from like Pottery Barn or like some nice, like big, thick dresser, very heavy with a very pointy corner. I turn the corner, it hits me right in the liver, like the point of the dresser.
Yo, how is your liver at corner of a dresser height? No, like
it's a big dresser.
I'll hit like my thigh or hip.
I was running. I was like this. I was crouched down, dude.
This is crazy. I am 5'5". How short are you?
Listen, if you're under 6 foot, you're short. All right. So there's a lot of us out here. I went down like a sack of potatoes just from that pointy dresser. I mean, I was like, I had heard people say, oh, when you get hit in the liver, like your whole body goes paralyzed. It had happened to me. So it's like, yeah, if you get a lot of shots to certain parts of your body, you're just going to shut down eventually. And
he was not hit in the liver.
It speaks to the lack of competition he's getting in the training room. It's like, dude, I don't want to see you do submissions against Carter Storocci, who doesn't fucking train jiu-jitsu right now. He's training wrestling only. Like, yeah, of course you can guillotine Carter Storocci. Like, you could probably do every submission in the fucking book to him. Like, you should be in there.
Pinned.
You should be fucking sparring. Like, he should be sparring like he's fucking, I don't know, like just doing. You play how you practice how you play. You got to get in there and you got to get the rounds in. You know what I mean?
Well, the great and powerful Brendan Schaub actually said the opposite. He said, no more fucking sparring, no more.
Rent free, no spoilers, rent free.
You are acknowledged, though.
You are acknowledged, but no spoilers.
But yeah, he's saying no striking whatsoever. Just go straight wrestling, straight submission training, straight jiu-jitsu training. But listen, what I want to say here is the body language on those strikes. It's like you watch something long enough. I don't consider myself an expert whatsoever, but like you watch the sport for years and years and years, and then you see something that just completely stands out. It's like his body language was weird.
He was wincing.
You're a wrestler in a UFC octagon. Like the way that like you're wincing with these shots. It's like, yeah, obviously he's a good striker and he's landing pretty quality shots, but like, I don't know. It looks like just.
Dan, you're not wrong. I mean, I said it before the show. We watched 500 fights in the last year, and we've done that every year for 5 years. That's 3,000 fights almost we've probably watched. So when you've seen 3,000 fights in 5 years, and more than that when you count fights that aren't UFC, but it's like you're watching this all the time, and you're watching it every weekend, and you're paying very close attention. And I think that you're exactly right. He was like almost talking when he was getting punched against the cage. He was like I saw him moving his mouth, like talking, and he had his hands down, and he was almost kind of like rolling his eyes, like, I can't believe this is happening right now. And it was almost like Chael Sonnen says, you take inventory, you start to go, how much do I have left to give? Is this realistic? How do I get out of here without taking too much damage?
Yeah.
But it also could have been, I'm not trying to take anything away from RDR. You know what I mean? One way or another, it's like,
it's impressive as hell.
It's
impressive as hell regardless.
Whether you break their body or you break their mind, it's great either way. You know what I mean? For me. But Kerry Jane says Bo is exhausted for round one. And that's something we talked about on the show last week. We said he's going to come in there, and the type of wrestling you do in a game day situation, if somebody has resistance, it's going to become so tiresome that it's almost an inevitability that this is going to end up back on its feet. And if it's back on its feet and Bo is now morally depleted from having not been able to take him down and hold him down, but also physically exhausted from trying, a guy like RDR who's been in way more fights and is way more comfortable and has fought for championships is going to be way more comfortable in that exhausted state, staying loose, and he's going to pick apart, even though his striking's not great, you know.
And the size of the guy. Like, once I saw him next to Bo,
should Bo cut to 170? He's saying, what did Bo wrestle?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I don't know what he wrestled at.
I think so. I think 170. He will have more of a physical advantage on these guys. I mean, I saw something that he came into fight week at like 220, like 210 or something like that. So he's walking around heavy, but he's not necessarily. I'm not saying.
I think that mine was kind of worse, dude. I mean, that IKEA dresser weighs like 700 pounds, and the full weight of it.
There's no piece of furniture at IKEA that weighs 700 pounds.
It's not IKEA. I'm telling you right now. You think I'm a fucking deadbeat? It was a fucking Pottery Barn dresser. Like, maybe even a better brand than Pottery Barn. I'm saying Pottery Barn. I'm being very conservative right now, but I'm pretty sure, like, some people some people might be like, Pottery Barn, that's like middle of the mall shit. It's like, hey, it's not in every mall. I'll tell you that much.
Listen, if it's IKEA, that means it's Swedish. We're talking Alexander Gustafsson. We're talking about the hardest fight of John Jones' career. All right?
Yeah, I mean, VCR repairman, you're not wrong. He needs to just be more gritty. And like you guys said, it's either fucking you're wrestling like a dog on meat. You're like Khabib in there. Early Khabib, you know, I mean, when Khabib was striking early days, he was striking so much worse than Bo Nickel. So much worse.
Clayton Tebow pieced him up. Come on, man.
In that fight, Khabib's like doing, like, he just is striking like a madman. But the difference is Khabib has little to no self-preservation desire, is going to take the shots and keep coming, and has great cardio. So it's like, you got to have great cardio. You got to, Bo's way too smart. He's a Penn State guy. He's a brainiac. This kid's, you know, he hasn't had to lose enough, and he doesn't have, I think, enough desire to push through. I really thought Bo Nickel's going to be the next John Jones with his pedigree, but he doesn't fight like I thought he was going to fight. He doesn't fight.
No, because Bo,
he leaves his biggest skills kind of like in the background.
A lot of these guys who have seen the pinnacle of competition in their respective martial art, when they come into the UFC, they can't mix it up as well as some other guys. John Jones went to community college to wrestle. You know what I mean? And sure, that was because, you know, he had an illegitimate pregnancy when he was in high school or some shit, allegedly. It
was legit.
Didn't he get a girl pregnant, and that's why he didn't go to D1? That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's just like, I know that's the term, I guess, but that's just, I wouldn't say that. I would just say that he had a child, and that's enough. That's enough right there. I wouldn't say how you said it, but anyway.
I think that's the term. I don't know.
Let's just move on then.
I'm just a straightforward guy. But when you're Bo Nickel, you're a 3-time national champion.
Autograph John Jones poster. I look at it every time I do the podcast. John, I love you. I would never say something like that if you found that disrespectful. I'm just putting that out there.
It's not half of what some of these guys on YouTube are saying.
That
okay?
poster motivates me when I'm feeling my worst, when I'm working, when I'm doing the podcast, and I look up, I see John going like that.
When my wife overcooks the
And
steak, I see that John Jones picture.
The poster just got 7 inches higher. The poster just got 7 inches higher.
How can you even reach it if you're hitting your hip on IKEA furniture? or your liver, dude. Like that threw me for a loop. A dresser? That's insane. But yeah, I think Bo, when you reach the pinnacle of the pinnacle in your respective sport, sure there are outliers like Alex Pereira, but think of most of these guys, these all-American wrestlers in the UFC. They're not necessarily having success wrestling. Michael Chandler, Tyrone Woodley didn't necessarily wrestle too much either. He was an All-American as well. Thinking of all the All-Americans, Justin Gaethje, all these guys, they don't necessarily blow your wrestling boots off of your body when you watch them fight in the UFC. They have a hard time in these transitions where somebody isn't afraid to go to their back. Somebody isn't just letting you take them to their stomach and you take their back and get easy control of them on the ground. It's kind of easier to control somebody from their back than it is from their stomach than it is, or in turtle position, than it is to control them from their back when they're in guard unless they're like Charlie Olives and just, give up that bottom position, or Paul Craig, better example. I think that, we should have seen the writing on the walls. I kind of broke down how RDR would win this fight before last week, and I just didn't pull the trigger on it. I fell in love with the odds, like Luke said, and, when you're looking at it, it's like, I'll never get Bo Nickel at lower odds. Well, guess what? Next fight, you might, unless they put him up against Torres fucking Finney or something like that. But Ritter TKO saved my night. Congratulations. It fucking ruined mine. It ruined mine. Went 6-6. Yeah, tough card for picks, rent free. I think I went like 4 for whatever the opposite is. Are you dudes on Tapology? I be on Tapology, dude. I do be on Tapology.
Take looks.
But Dan, did you get to watch the main event of the evening? The main event of the evening is the only thing I want to talk about. It was absolutely sensational.
So Saturday night, all right, I'm at
but you listened to Brendan Schaub's breakdown of this card, which I appreciate. I'm a big Brendan Schaub guy. I think that Brown Bear is the best to ever do it. But you were able to listen to his breakdown of the Bo Nickel fight. Did you?
Oh, that's your takeaway?
Did you listen to his breakdown of the main event of the evening with his dear friend Corey Sandhagen?
I did not.
I don't know if you heard. Brendan Schaub gave him the nickname Sandman.
Oh, but he can't walk out to Sandman because of licensing or something from Metallica. However, that doesn't make any sense because Mariano Rivera walked out to Metallica's Enter Sandman like 6,000 times. But whatever. I was not able to. I was at a Cinco de Mayo party. I was watching on my phone when I could. But then, I got home relatively early. I was watching the Bo Nickel fight. And then once RDR disposed of him, I had a 10-mile run on Sunday. Humble brag, no big deal. Started at 7 a.m. And I'm ripping tequila shots for a Cinco de Mayo party. When my AC breaks at night, I get no sleep, still able to complete it, beast it out, whatever, no big deal. But I'm texting my buddy. We're talking about the Bo Nickel fight. He's like, oh, what do you think is going to happen with the Corey Sandhagen fight? I'm like, dog, I know Corey Sandhagen is going to destroy him. I'm going to bed right now because I already know what's going to happen. And, of course, he finishes it in the second round. Injury concern, whatever.
Oh, dude, it was absolutely sensational.
I already knew what was going to happen. So
Alex actually FaceTimed me while the Bo Nickel fight was going on. And me and him are FaceTiming, and we're just howling with laughter because, Alex, you want to talk about it? Like, it was...
Yeah, Davison Figueiredo went for 15 leg locks in the fight, maybe more. He went for 15 heel hooks. Terrible, jiu-jitsu ability on these heel hooks. They weren't the best heel hooks I've ever seen in my life, but he's going for him. He wasn't
Gordon Hyen.
Yeah, he was no Gordon Hyen. He was throwing shit at the wall, seeing if it stuck. Corey Sandhagen.
Caralho.
Corey
That's probably the
Sandhagen.
only way he would have won. So
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Corey Sandhagen's doing my favorite thing, which is just ringing his head like it's a fucking bell.
And
while
then
he's throwing these
throws
leg locks,
one,
just
Dan.
beating the piss out of him. And then
Corey Sandhagen throws one heel hook, tears his knee to shreds, gets on top of him, and starts pounding him. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'd be upset if I was a Corey Sandhagen submission better on this night because he won via breaking someone's knee.
Right.
But the fact that they score that a technical knockout, that's kind of like
who's playing that? That must have been like plus 1,000.
well, no, I mean that's the difference maker, right? It's like don't go for leg locks unless you're willing to fucking do it. Like Paul Harris, like do it. You know what I mean? He even said in his press conference, he was like, "That wasn't a fluke." It's like, yeah, of course it wasn't a fluke. Like you ripped through him like a buzzsaw, Corey. That was amazing. Like you just like rather than just like go for a submission, you just ignored it in a way that it caused it to happen. Not ignored it, like knew it was what was happening, but like just went for the kill and like stood up, got top. Like he did it in a cool way. Usually you're like on your butt, like Ryan Hall, like looking like a fucking worm on the ground, doing something that you could never do in the mean streets of Philadelphia. Like you'd get a fucking piece of glass in your
needle,
anything, any size. But the point is that like it was an offensive, like I'm just gonna rip your knee apart while I come up on top and pound the shit out of you and look to the ref and be like, "Are you gonna stop it?" Like this guy's destroyed. And yeah, completely dominant, awesome. Hats off to Corey Sandhagen. Can't believe I ever doubted you. I think he beats Merab. I don't know what people are saying. Merab's not taking him down with ease, and on the feet, he's gonna fucking be a nightmare for Merab to deal with. He fought
Merab's taking him down like a hot
Umar,
knife.
Umar barely was able to take him down. Merab couldn't take Umar down, really. I mean, he did, to win the fight, but he didn't take him down, hold him down for any period of time.
It's different. Corey Sandhagen, I know you read The Art of War. I know I know that his mindset changed.
I think Corey Land's
he's too much of an aura farmer right now. He's
farming no aura. He's got zero aura, and he knows it.
That's Luke.
That's an aura. You're saying that's an aura in and of itself. Yeah, okay.
Luke. The new style is called nonchalant. Okay, his aura is very nonchalant. Like, yeah, I'm just packing my scale to weigh in. Oh, and my other scale, and then he takes out like, paraphernalia scale. One that you'll get some extra time. Yeah, he did that. So, this Corey Sandhagen.
Legal. You don't need scales.
I don't even want to hear about this.
Stupid.
All right. Look, me and Alex did not have the best last card, but before that, Alex went 9 out of 13. As I was going through and calculating all the stats, I came out to 259 out of 472. I came in last place, I think, for the second year.
Gaston Bolanos, you and your dad are weird little fucking weirdo pricks, and
Dude,
I don't like you.
Tell you guys.
Well, no, we'll get there. He was the biggest embarrassment of the card for sure. But
embarrassing. He made Ilya Taporia look bad.
So yeah, I mean,
just for having a similar hairstyle.
Yeah, so Dan led the pack. He was 58% accurate, right, Dan?
Yep. According to you.
Knocking on the door of 59. Or knocking on the door of 58, either way. You were 278. And we have one more event to record, but 278. So 58.89. Yeah, knocking on the door of 59%. Accurate for the year. Well done, Dan. Alex, second place, 56% accurate. Still 56, nothing to scoff at. 265 out of 472. Could bump that up, could maybe get to 57. We're still got one event left to get the data for. But me, I finished at 259 out of 472, 54.8% accurate. I mean, for me, that's terrible. That's a terrible year. Third place is not what I aim for. Be down this much, not what I aim for.
Luke, it's completely fine. Kamaru Usman once came in at 30% of what he could do, and he still ended up a winner. Okay, so 58% is nothing to, or 54% is nothing to scoff at.
When the lowest one of the podcast is me, who obviously has the best predictions of all time, and no one's accounting for the ones I get right being fucking super outstanding. But anyway, 55-ish, 54.8% accurate is a tough pill to swallow. But if I'm the fucking biggest screw up on the podcast, I think that's saying a lot about the state of the show. And I think that we're, despite the current down market, we'll call it, a down economy. I think once we refresh the page, we go into next year, we reset our minds. We go, hey, back to basics. It's $1,000. Bet 10, bet 50, reduce bet size. This is what you do. You reduce, lower interest rates, increase volatility in the velocity of money theory. Listen, you got to just move forward. You move forward, and
Ponzinibbio
is what it is, and I can't change the past. And
last thing I want to touch on this card, and then I'm ready to,
well, we got Bolaños. I mean, people talk about Bolaños. The guy defends takedowns by putting both of his hands inside of the arm that is controlling his hips to try to, I guess, the enemy is inside now, and then I can break out from within. It's like, you're not going to do that. You just gave him your arms. His arm's doing this, or your biceps, I guess, doing this. What is stronger? Like, you're not breaking it from within. If you don't know how to that's like day one self-defense class. Like, somebody comes around, they grab you. What do? It's like, you break it off at the part where they're connected. You fight that. Like, it's pretty 101 level stuff.
It's too much for a Muay Thai guy to even like wrap his head around.
He would put his arm in there, and his opponent would be like, "Really?" And he would just take him to that side. He's like, "Now you don't have an arm to post on. When I take you to that side, you're down." Like, and he took him down with ease. And if you don't want to be taken down, you can't be throwing kicks, like, or at least not naked kicks, or at least not bad ones. I mean, you better be careful with those kicks if you don't want to be taken down. And if you don't want to be taken down, learn at least the most basic level of competency around takedown defense. There's women who go into shopping malls on their fucking lunch break who know better takedown defense than that. Learning from a McDojo Taekwondo studio.
And what do you expect? Like, the Vietnamese from the war that we went through, they don't fight you where you're best. They use guerrilla warfare, guerrilla tactics. They're going to take you to places where you don't want to be, whether that be tunnels, whether that be in the jungle. They're going to take you to where they want you and then take advantage of that deficit in your game. And that's exactly what Quang Lee did.
So historically inaccurate and offensive. Moving on. I didn't hear anything he said.
Guerrilla warfare was invented during Nam, Luke. Come on.
Civil War, bro.
During the American Revolution, bro. That's us, okay? We started that. We trained them on that. That's us.
Guerrilla warfare was invented long before the American
Manhattan, okay? Guerrillas live in the jungle.
Bro, I'm talking about the Swamp Fox himself, Francis Marion. You got to watch The Patriot. Best movie of all time. Loosely based.
I don't support
loosely
that.
based.
I thought The Patriot was a total fiction.
No, it's based on Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox out of South Carolina.
I don't watch that guy's movie. I've never
seen. And then the
Braveheart,
bad guys, those are all real people. Sorry to interrupt, but Bannister Tarrington, the guy that burns down the church, that's a real dude. You got General Cornwallis, real general, based in these areas of South Carolina.
Before Bannister Washington was born, Luke, people would just fall off the side of steps. They had nothing to hold themselves up. He invented the banister.
Yeah. Well, we got to break down this card eventually. Anything else? Ponzinibbio, I mean,
he killed all the parlays for me until I
again.
Until I put a sizable bet on Bo Nickel and Corey Sandhagen that brought me to where I am today.
Happens. You weren't even watching the Bo Nickel, but you were walking around your house. I'm like, you watching this? And yeah, I don't know.
I was kind of watching. What I saw, I didn't like, so I tried to tune it out as much as I could.
My thing is this: it's like if if my average is losing 128 a week, I mean. There's some weeks I win so big, and then there's other weeks where I feel like I've bet so much more than $128. So the fact that I only lost 128 is like crazy to me, because I'm like, when I lose, I feel like I lose a lot of money. Like,
can I have the copium today? It is crazy when I see the size of some of your bets. I mean, there's some weekends you lose $600 at full clip right then and there. But if you're only betting $138 a week, I gotta think that the bookkeeper is either bad or
Any of size.
No,
Or
I,
you
mean,
do
I
your
won
due.
some.
Right.
I won some bets this weekend. I won Julian Robertson by finish. That's it. Plus 275.
Where was Marina Rodriguez's B-roll? That's what I want to know. She has had a better career than a lot of these guys getting B-rolls. Now that's going to be a question after every card that somebody retires is where's their B-roll? I thought everybody who retires gets a B-roll. Clay Guida didn't get a B-roll.
The fact that she even got a speech off a loss and was crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Like,
All
who
right.
cares? But anyway, we got a card to break down, guys. Let's take it slow. Let's warm up at the bottom. Brad Katona versus Bekzat Almakan. 11-2 Bekzat Almakan. He's from that country that those good fighters come from, man. He's from that country. Name of Kazakhstan. This guy, there's been many Kazakhstani warriors. He's got 9 knockout wins, 1 win by submission. He's coming off a loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. Hasn't fought since March of 2024. So over a year of time outside of the octagon, but you come in, you fight the fucking number 1 contender in your UFC debut off a favor, and then they give you Brad Katona. This seems to me like makeup duty, like, hey, we got you, don't worry, take a long layoff, we'll find the perfect matchup for you based on your visas and your this and your that. He's only a minus 180 favorite. Glaring to me, he's 6 years younger. Katona's 33, fighting at 135-pound weight class. I don't care about anything else besides that. I think this kid wins. Got to back him. He's going to feel a significant drop-off in skill going from Umar to fucking Katona. I think that the person who will be surprised here will be Brad Katona in terms of how good this kid turns out to be. And minus 180 seems like a steal. I don't know what book that's on. It's on Typology, but I'm going with Bekzat.
Likewise, Bekzat Almakan sounds like a name from that Key and Peele sketch. I'm going with him as well. Brad Katona is historical disappointment. Don't see him winning. He's a Canadian Irishman. Not much worse than that. Dan, what do you think?
So Tapology is actually right. This is very rare for them as far as the odds are concerned. He is a solid minus 180. I'm going to go with the Kazakh here. We're going to triple P certify this one. This is a situation where I would think with this guy, you would have to kill him in order to get the win. You got to finish him, which is something that Brad Katona is not privy to do. He's got a little jab. He's got a right cross. He can wrestle a little bit, but there's nothing that really pops off the page here. Brad Katona is the ultimate gatekeeper of UFC newcomers, that kind of very beginning tier of the UFC. I don't think this guy, with his record, not getting finished by Umar, coming from the Kazakhs, I think he will be all right. He's got a win. I'm sorry, this is different. I'm skipping ahead here, but yes, I will triple P certify this pick here.
Brad Katona went all the way to Ireland to just fight like GSP. He uses GSP style, but went to SBG Ireland to hone in that style. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't count Brad Katona out, but in this matchup, I can't do it. Daniel Santos versus Ji-Young Lee, the Korean Tiger, coming off a loss in his debut against Hyder Emil 9 months ago. You'll remember that. I mean, it went viral. They were both just slugging it out back and forth. And then Hyder Emil landed a 25-punch combination on him to get a win. Before that, though, he did beat Yi Za, who was 22-3, a split decision on his UFC debut, kind of that road to UFC finale thing. And then Blake Builder, who's respectable, beat him a year and 3 months ago. lost to Hyder Emil 9 months ago, has taken a requisite 9 months off after the TKO finish. He's going to be 3 inches taller, 6 inches of reach over Willie Cat Santos, who's coming off his decision win 2 years ago against Johnny Munoz Jr. Before that, beat John Castaneda, finished him with a knee, lost the decision in his debut to Julio Arce 3 years ago, but really has put up no activity. I mean, talking 5 fights in 6 years. Willie Cat is 30 years old, so you don't want to say he's like over the hill, but the activity is not there. He's 11-2. So is his opponent, who also, I mean, 29, but at least he's in a place where he's in South Korea, so he's got to do the mandatory military service, and he's also, trying to break out from the road to UFC. Not as much competition as this guy's got over, in Brazil and in the UFC, and with being part of Chute Box Diego Lima. I mean, Willie Cat Santos can get fights. Why is he inactive? Why is he shorter? Why does he not have as much reach? And
Luke, I'll tell you why. Because this fight is happening at 145. The Willie Cat has historically fought at 135, and in his last 3 fights, he either withdrew or pulled out from medical issue. So he might be bumping up in weight here because the weight cut was getting a little too hard for him.
But I don't like any of those things. I mean, I don't like that he was having medical issues. I don't like that he's got to bump up in weight. I don't like that, with the adjustment, he's probably going to have just as bad of a weight cut. I mean, how bad was his cut down to 135? Now he's going to cut to 145. It's not that much. So if you put on 10 pounds, because in your mind, you're like, well, now I don't have to cut that weight. Then all of a sudden you have a bad weight cut to 145. Seen it before. We'll see it again. All this being said, I'm taking Willie Cat Santos.
I'm also taking the Willie Cat myself. I do not see the potential of the Korean Tiger. A lot of fighters from that region have a similar type of trajectory. Until I see some evidence that proves otherwise, I will continue to fade them against fighters from a region that are historically amazing, which is Brazil.
Dude, but I mean, I love the Iron Turtle. I love there's many, many very good South Korean fighters. So speaking of the Iron Turtle, a common opponent.
Many good, no great.
Just
Dan still has to go.
I am not gonna triple P certify this one. I'm gonna go with Jung Young Lee. I'm a big fan of this guy. I think he's got really fast hands. I think he is tenacious. I think he's well-rounded. And I think he's ready to kick some ass coming off of a loss to also a really good young contender in Hyder Emil. Daniel Santos, respect, all respect due. The line certainly suggests that. It's a pick'em on both ends, as pick'ems go. But I like Jung Young Lee here. This is my guy. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a coin flip because I do feel somewhat confident in Lee. It's going to be a close fight, but I think Lee's got a little bit more power and a little bit more well-rounded. I think he's, again, coming off a loss. Some of these guys wilt. I don't think Lee is the one to wilt. I think Lee's one to get better and to improve, and that's what I expect. I'm going to pick Lee.
Dan, you were right last week on a Lee, but this one, I think you got the Kwang Lee.
I was going to say that Dan convinced me, but that was too good, Alex, so I have to stay.
Gotcha.
Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. Open and shut case for me. It's Marc-Andre Barriault all day. Probably by knockout, too. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with Marc-Andre. I was disappointed with him in his last outing. Who did he fight? Dustin Stolfitz. I said I was disappointed. I've been disappointed in his last few outings. I thought he probably should have beat Chris Curtis. But
No. Dustin Stolfitz feels like it was Andre Barriault's last fight for some reason.
No, Dustin Stolfitz he got knocked out. Then he got knocked out by Joe Pyfer, and then he lost a split decision to Chris Curtis. His last win is the great and powerful Eric Anders. And before that, Julian Marquez. I mean, I'm looking at this. This is a fight that he should win. Bruno Silva is kind of like tail end of his career. He stinks. He's not good. He did beat up Chris Weidman. Got robbed. I'm going to go with Marc-Andre Barriault. I shouldn't, because in all reality, you're not allowed to put Barriol in any parlays. That's illegal.
That's fucking illegal.
Yeah, you got one guy coming off 3 straight losses, another guy coming off of 4. I'm gonna go with Barriol here. I feel like, man, I mean, it's tough. He used to be the power bar, not because he has a lot of power in his hands, but because he has great cardio. I don't know if that's is that there anymore. I mean, is he sapped of the power bar? He's going to need it against Silva because Silva's going to come in with the power. I mean, that's kind of his deal. Knocked out Brad Tavares, who that might be the only knockout on Brad Tavares' record. So, you know, at this stage in the game, power bar better have some stamina and some cardio because that's the only way he gets this thing done. I'm going to bank on that. I'm going to bank on the hometown crowd kind of keeping him going. Definitely not anywhere near a parlay pillar. Stay away from this one, but I will triple P certify it. Unfortunately, let's hope it comes through.
All right, Marc-Andre Barriol, triple P certified. Next, we got Ivan Erslan versus Navajo Sterling. Interesting matchup, kind of a freak show matchup in terms of the overall fit of these two guys. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to go chalky on this one. I'm going to go Navajo Sterling. I'm going to buy the hype. 6-0. You know, Ivan Erslan seems like he has something to bring to the table here, but I think Sterling has more of the finishing power. I think Erslan is a little bit more finesse, you know, a little bit more, you know, a little bit more dogged. But Sterling, I'm going to bank on the death touch here. I think he does have some holes in his game, being that he's only 6-0, you know, only 6 fights professionally. So I think at some point he will be exposed, you know, a la Bo Nickel last weekend. But I don't think this will be the fight. I'm going to go with the favorite, Navajo Sterling.
Navajo Sterling for me as well. You know, don't love the odds. I feel like Erslan can push him up against the fence, make it a gritty bout. There is a chance that he could steal a decision, but I don't see it happening. I think Navajo Sterling keeps him on the end of his jab, dances around the outside, picks him apart from a distance, and ends up winning this fight.
You say you don't like the odds. I'm seeing minus 290 on Topology, so I don't know what. I mean, it's.
I don't love betting on guys who I have to pay $290 to make $100 on. Much more explanation further.
I mean, Luke, you were scoffing at minus 160 for triple P certified. This one's probably going to be triple P certified. It's way above our threshold.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that Bo Nickel was priced higher than him. And it was a very similar situation. Yeah, he's not as good as Bo Nickel in terms of pedigree, but Erslan's not as good as Renier de Ritter in terms of pedigree, but they kind of both stack up in terms of like the experience and promise and intangibles. They stack up in terms of a pretty similar matchup. So it's hard for me to run to the window to bet Sterling when I don't know enough about him and I don't know enough about his opponent to really go, yeah, he should be. I mean, it seems greedy. It seems greedy to sprinkle him into parlays. You know, if I was going to bet it, a solo bet, him to win by knockout.
But do you understand that that's what I was saying? Like, I don't love the odds on this guy. I'm picking him to win. I'm probably not going to bet too much on him.
Right.
Okay.
So,
I was just confused where the grievance loo with you.
No, well, for me, it's going to be the same situation, but dog or pass. So my official pick will be Erslan, just because I have a feeling that it's. You know, it's just hard for me, especially after the Bo Nickel situation, to run to the window on a similarly aligned odds were set similarly for Sterling, and he's got just as little of experience with just as low of a ceiling fighting a guy who's not very much older and you know has a lot of paths to victory and certainly could win. I mean, odds are pretty juicy for a guy who certainly could win. I don't know. Anyway, Modestus Bukauskas versus Ian Kutalaba. I I have to wait to see what you guys pick because
No.
these are two fighters that I have historically not been able to get correct. So how do I go here? I mean, whoever I pick is going to lose for sure. So, or does this break the curse that I have on both of these guys? I think I've bet them both the wrong way almost every time. I don't know who I took. I have to go back and watch the tape. But what do you guys think here?
Well, Bukauskas is coming off a 2-fight win streak, so he's feeling his mojo a little bit here. 4 out of his last 5 now. I'm looking at the Tapology page right here. I forget who asked me, do I do Tapology? I certainly do. I'm looking at it right now. Not looking at the best opponents though for Mr. Bukauskas. We got Rafael Cerqueira. I mean, not notable. Marcin Prachnio at the end of his career. I'll give it to him. He finished him. That's somewhat respectable. But then you got your Zach Paugas and your Tyson Pedros. Not loving this. I'm going to go with Ion Cutelaba. I think that the Bukauskas train is a little bit fugazi here. And I think Cutelaba, for all of his misses throughout his career, he shows skills. He's got some power in his hands. He can wrestle. He's relatively durable. He's got pretty good cardio. I think he's matched up with a lot of tough opponents. Oftentimes he comes out on the wrong side of the decision or what have you. But I like Ion Cutelaba. Maybe not as big of a fan as Luke, but I think he's serviceable. I think he gets the job done here. The line is shifting back and forth. Last I checked, he is the ever so slight favorite in a pickup matchup. I'm going to ride with Ion Cutelaba here. Go Hulk.
Luke, who'd you pick?
I didn't pick yet.
I'm going with Modestus Bukauskas. It's going to be a Bukaki night all over Ion Cutelaba. He's going to keep him at range, pick him apart. He's too big for Ion Cutelaba's games of pushing him up against the cage, taking him down, grinding him out. I think Modestus Bukauskas is going to come out and show you, Dan.
Can I hit Luke with some stats real quick? Strikes landed per minute. Bukauskas, 3.3. Ion Cutelaba, 4.3. Okay? And UFC stats, that's a lot. One whole percentage or whatever higher, big deal. Strike absorbed. Strikes taken in. Bukauskas, 4.1. Cutelaba, you would think he gets hit all the time. 3.3. The stats are suggesting to me Ion Cutelaba.
Luke, let me tell you this. For those 4 punches are little tiny baby punches when they're against the cage. Boom, 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 boom. That's all the strikes that he's landing in fights. He's not throwing ham hocks. He's not throwing big meaty claws like Modestus Bukauskas.
It's not like you guys are fighting for me to triple certify somebody. I mean, I have to go with one or the other. So coming into this, I think I asked all things that you just said considered, the main question that tips the scale for me is this. Has Ion Cutelaba historically underperformed and has Modestus recently overperformed? Modestus is 5-1 in his most recent UFC run. He got bounced out, fought on, came back, and is now 5-1. Ion Cutelaba has fought the best of the best. I mean, and has historically kind of underperformed in big matchups and performed decently, but honestly, not even that much to his full potential in appropriate matchups, right? Like he barely squeaks by some of these guys who he should probably like beat, if he's going to be a gatekeeper, he should like finish them, but he's kind of assuming a bit of a gatekeeper role. I think no matter who I pick is going to be wrong. I'm taking Ion Cutelaba.
That's the pick.
Attaboy.
Dude, I'm so confident on this one. Just like looking at it right now,
I think he connects. And we always when he got kicked out of the UFC, we said Modestas Bukauskas has no chin. He's a chicken jaw. He can't fucking take a punch, and he does still get rocked. He got rocked in that fight he had where the guy kicked him in the head from two inches away. Like he gets rocked. So I'm going with Ian Cutelaba to connect at some point. Put him down. Ian Cutelaba by the knockout.
All these Cutelaba losses I'm looking at, these are guys who headline cards. Not a crazy amount, but like, Johnny Walker, Ryan Spann, Ankalaev, Glover Teixeira, Jared Cannonier. These are okay. He headlined a card. Who has Modestas Bukauskas fought that headlined a card? Fucking nobody.
Listen, but we're both with Dan, and he is almost 60% accurate throughout a year. So, and he won last year too. I mean, I'm going to look up your year 4 stats and add them together and see what you are over the last 2 years, Dan. Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Judavicius. Open and shut case for me. Jasmine Judavicius. Going to take her down. Going to finish her. It's her all day. Jazzy J all day, all night for me.
Yeah, you don't ever want to be too bullish on the lady fights, but this one is adding up to me as well with Juicy Jasmine, Jazz Duvicious. 2 components here. Number 1,
Jazzy J, Dan, not Juicy. Juicy J.
Whoa.
Juicy. She's jazzy. She's
you make a face when I say Milky Misha Tate,
win.
and you're gonna call her Juicy Jazzy J? What are we doing?
Jazzy J. Yeah, I think that's a better nickname. I think that's a better fight name. Let's roll with that. 2 components.
She is a minus 300 favorite. So
she's the minus 300 favorite for these reasons. Number 1, rock solid chin. Okay, that's the only way Andrade is winning at this point. Not going to crack that chin. Too strong, too young, too juicy, too ready to rock. And, of course, the takedowns are going to be there. Whether it's out in the open or up against the cage. I don't know how it's going to go down, but it's going to go down. Andrade's going to go down. The takedowns are happening, and the minus 298 favorite is going to get this done. Parlay pillar, no. It's in the women's division. Andrade, former champion. But fairly confident.
Give me Jesse Andrade. I mean, guys, she's 3 years younger. She's a huge underdog. She's got double the fights, sure, double the miles, but I think the Biebs has one more in him. I think there's one more hit song laying in that fella, and same goes for Jesse Andrade, who models her haircut in a similar fashion. Going with Andrade on this one. Not really gonna bet it too much, maybe just a little bit, but yeah, don't feel safe going with a minus 300 favorite on a 3-year older woman who has a third of the fights. Next up, we got another Maple Leaf. Maple Leafs won last night. Pretty crazy. Think that might be their first second round win in 2 decades. Mike Malott versus Charles Radke. Now, if Charles Radke had a lot to say about the Australian audience, I'd imagine in Canada, it's only going to be worse. Mike Malott is good. He's got a good game. He can take people down. He can beat them up while he's on the ground. His brother plays in the NHL. Bit of an enforcer himself. But something about Chuck Buffalo. I know that I was very, very down on him after that Carlos Paratis body shot. But I think Chuck Buffalo comes out there and he puts the naysayers to rest, and he takes Mike Malott out. Mike Malott doesn't have the dog in him. Neil Magny exposed that. So I think Chuck Buffalo has a little bit more doggedness. He's going to be able to withstand an early storm. He's going to be able to keep the takedowns off him. This guy trains with Belal Muhammad. So good to see them both on a card together. He's dealt with wrestling before. I'm pretty sure he was a pretty accredited wrestler before he made his MMA debut as well. So I think he keeps Malott off of him, kind of lands the bigger punches on the feet, Could be a bit of a Canadian screw job here, but gotta go with Chuck Buffalo.
All right, Bret Hart is coming in.
Bret screwed Bret.
Dude, I can't say anything other than what you've already said here. I agree with everything you just said. The dog mentality of Chuck Buffalo coming in, the training recently with Belal Muhammad. I mean, previous to that kind of workout regimen with Belal Muhammad, I would think that Mike Malot's only way of getting this thing done is taking it to the ground, submitting him. I don't think that's happening anymore. You take that wrestling pedigree now. I mean, listen, he's no Bo Nickel, I'll say that. But I'm going to take that training and combine that with his tenacity. I think tenacity is the word of this card. Combine that with the dog mentality. I don't think he's getting taken down. If this thing stays on the feet, I'm going to take the American appeal, okay? The American steel, sex appeal with Chuck Buffalo to get this thing done. I think he's just a tougher dude. And like you said, I think that Neil Magny exposed that with Mike Malott. Not saying he's a bad fighter, but I think Chuck Buffalo gets it done. Believe this is my first dog of the card.
Dan, you want to hear something crazy?
Hit me.
Chuck Buffalo's third fight was against Austin Hubbard when Austin Hubbard was 7-2.
He lost that fight though, right?
He lost that fight, but like you're coming in 2-0, one amateur bout against an Austin Hubbard who has 9 fights already. You know, that was Austin Hubbard's 10th fight. And he was supposed to fight Lando Vannata back in 2013.
You know, it's a good loss to have on your record as far as
that early. I mean, this was back in 2018. Austin Hubbard had a bit of a future ahead of him at that point. Now Austin Hubbard kind of is just like, oh, I lost. Third.
All right, is Luke
Austin.
in the chat, or do we have to go back?
You know, we can just
All right,
just
keep
skip
on
ahead.
forward. We'll get back to him. What's the next fight?
Or we can guess what slur Chuck Buffalo will say next.
I'm guessing he's gonna go back to the old hits.
Yeah. He's gonna play the same tunes.
Yeah.
I loved in his last fight when he knocked out Semmelsberger. He was like, DC was about to give him the mic, and he's like, "You scared to do this?" But next up, we got BSD Benoit Saint Denis versus Kyle Prepubescent.
Well,
Pre-Pollock. He was pre-Pollock, so it was before people just started throwing paint canisters at the wall and seeing if it sticked. I mean, I got to go with BSD in this one. He's a minus 1050 favorite.
Yeah.
There's no value there. I mean, the smart money is to put it on the pre-Pollock, but you know, what are you going to do here? This is a no-bet situation. Benoit Saint Denis is kind of on the down slope, so I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to fading him here. You know, he's lost 2 in a row. If you really look at his wins, are they that good? Is Melbourne Fiem kind of, you know, someone we're not very high on anymore? He lost to Alesius Zalewski. But that guy had $3 billion funneled into his camp before that fight. So he had the upper hand in that one. Gabriel Miranda, he beat. Who the fuck is Gabriel Miranda? Nicholas Stoltze? No way.
Gabriel Miranda, guy with the mustache.
Yeah. He's got the Uncle Creepy look going. Thiago Moises. Thiago Moises isn't a bad win. Matt Frivola, though. I mean, you got Ray Longo telling you to turn around into knees. Like, what are we doing here, B? Yeah, I mean, for picks purposes, I'll go Benoit Saint Denis, but I will not pay a 1050 price tag against somebody I know diddly squat about. And in fact, I'm probably going to end up placing a little wager on the guy who I know nothing about, just because sometimes the devil you know is worse than the devil you don't know. This guy lost to Austin Hubbard in 2019 in the UFC. He was in the UFC. He lost to Nordine Talib and then Austin Hubbard.
Talib was good. I think he was very underrated. Great kickboxer. Good striker.
I think you're thinking of the GOAT, Artem Lobov. No. Okay. Nadeem
Listen,
Torleeb.
I go back farther than you think, Alex. I was paying attention.
No, Nadeem. I think him and Nadeem Torleeb were on the same season of The Ultimate Fighter.
No, but I'm thinking of the right guy, Nordine Taleb. I remember him. I'm gonna go, same as well. I'm gonna go with BSD here.
Luke, you can't cycle through those so quick. We got to see what they're saying here.
HBK Buffalo coming. I love that. Yo, that's so true. Alex, you're looking a little shabby. You're kind of pulling off my look from a lost time.
You know what, Justin? I don't want to say it, but I don't think, we should be judging men's looks around here, okay? The only guy we need to judge his looks is William Gomis because he's so damn handsome.
Lips.
But
well, okay, so it's my pick, and I have a few to catch up on, I think.
What about Mike Malott and then Kyle Pre-Pollock?
Oh, two.
That's it?
Yep, that's all.
Yeah, the Mike Malott one is, to be honest, the most competitive fight on the card for me. It's the one I'm most interested in watching. I almost don't want to taint it with a bet, but I think that the odds on Charles Radke are enticing. I think Charles is more dangerous, and I'm going to go with Charles to win the fight, but it's going to be a real learning experience for both guys. Who's going to have more staying power here? And yeah, I think it's kind of an open. I've said that too many times tonight. It's not an open and shut case. But it's like, yeah, in terms of betting, it's like just sit back and enjoy.
We've been into a lot of NCIS lately.
X-Files. No, it's like just sit back and enjoy this one. And I'm going to go with Charles Radke. But
I mean, I don't know how you don't make Charles Radke a parlay pillar. Because I think, and here's what I think. Carlos Pratas beat the shit out of Neil Magny. Am I wrong?
I think so.
Carlos Pratas.
And he definitely did.
Carlos Pratas
beat
the shit out of Chad Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got him with a good body shot.
Neil Magny beat the piss out of Mike Malott.
Well, no. Mike Malott was beating his ass for like 3/4 of the fight. Then
No.
Yes. He ran out of gas. And then Max put it on him in like the last round.
Goes to show. If you don't finish first, you finish last. That's what I always say. Luke, what about Benoit Saint Denis, the minus 1,050?
That's insane. But I mean, I'm picking him to win, but that's insane.
I don't know. I think Pre-Pollock has it. No, I know nothing about him.
You might as well. Like,
you ought to bet on him. Like, it's plus 600 underdogs win it like a 3 to 6 clip, a 3 to 8 clip, maybe.
I don't, Alex. I mean, anyway. All right, so that just leaves Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. Did you guys already start that one or what?
No, we were waiting on you, tough guy.
Take it away.
Yo, what is Luke up to right now?
I'm kidding. Yeah, to be honest, I have a sour taste in my mouth with Alexa Grasso. She got taken down, dominated. Her and her boy Diego Lopez kind of are like a part of the camp of fighters who lose in big moments now. I'm going Natalia Silva as a punishment pick. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I don't love the odds, and I'm not really going to be betting this one, but I can't be picking Alexa Grasso, not even at these juicy odds.
I mean, I'm tempted with the Grasso pick, to be honest. I'm leaning Silva, but the odds and the circumstance kind of tell me Grasso. I think there could be a wrestling component, which would lean towards Grasso. I mean, I don't think Silva has any grappling, wrestling, anything whatsoever over there. Grasso, I think, has more powerful shots, although, you take a leg kick from Silva up, for a headshot. I don't think anyone's going to be enjoying that. I think Silva's going to be a lot faster, but if Grasso can weather the storm and land a couple of the bigger punches that catches the judge's eyes, it could lean her way. It's a classic lady fight. It's a coin flip here.
What about the fact that it's only 4
rounds?
days removed from Cinco de Mayo?
I don't
Do you
think
think that has any effect on the lib Canadian judges?
I think it has more of an effect on Grasso, who's 4 days removed from partying, I would assume. Maybe not assume, but it's a possibility.
I don't think they celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Mexico.
I think they do.
No.
Why would they not celebrate their independence?
I think we made it up. I think we just made up that it was like a Mexican thing.
I'll get back to you on that, but I don't think it's made up. I'm going to go with Silva. Again, certainly not a parlay pillar. Odds are not great. Very chalky. I'm going to align myself with Vegas here. I just think that I think she's faster. I think she's fresher. The younger fighter. I think speed kills here.
I'm gonna go with Grasso. I'm into feet. She pulled him out on Instagram Live. I gotta. I'm just joking. I just think Alexa Grasso has more tools in the tool belt. Natalia Silva's more of a Thai boxer. Yes, she will be faster in there. But if Alexa Grasso can close the distance and clamp down on you, I mean, she got the champ in that. So who am I to say that she can't get little tiny Natalia Silva?
I'm going to switch my pick. I'm actually with you. I think she will close the distance as well. I think she's got that Mexican toughness. She's going to walk through Natalia Silva's speed. It's speed, but it's not powerful. I think Grasso's going to walk through, land the more powerful, eye-catching shots. Like I said, I think the wrestling is there as well. I like what you're saying, Alex. You swayed me. Luke, I think you're going Silva. No triple P certification.
Luke, are we behind on chat? Like, you haven't been here for the last 15 minutes. I don't know if we've gotten anything.
I did. I always throw them up. We haven't.
Don't know what that means.
So
I don't know where you've been.
Music is coming for Mike Malott. That's what it means. HBK, Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. I got you.
Okay, I thought it might have meant something about like Chuck Buffalo's political views or something. I didn't want to touch it.
Okay. Next, we got Amin Zahabi versus Jose Aldo.
No, you didn't pick the lady fight.
I did. I picked Silva.
No, you picked Silva.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Jose Aldo by a million. Amin Zahabi is only 1 year younger than him. So they're really, like, we call him the babyface Zahabi. Yeah, Amin Zahabi is 37. Only has 14 fights. Has been fighting in the UFC since like 2015. Do not bet on Amin Zahabi. Jose Aldo is the greatest. I think he might be the greatest fighter to ever live. He's had the longest career. If people want to give LeBron James his flowers, Tom Brady his flowers, you got to give Jose Aldo his flowers. He's amazing. He's had so much longevity. He's probably fought for like 12 different titles in his lifetime and defended one of his own 4 times in the UFC and like 8 times in WEC before that. So he's been fighting at the highest level for a very long time. And usually that would lead me to pick away from somebody, but Jose Aldo has the acai. He's got that secret juice. He's been performing at a high level in every single one of these fights. He gave Marab one of his toughest fights. He gave Jan one of his toughest fights. he beat the shit out of Mario Batista, who is now in title contention. Got to give Jose Aldo his flowers, and Jose Aldo is going to beat the shit out of Ayman Sahabi.
I'm going to go with Ayman Sahabi. I don't want to pick this way. As a fan, not even close. I want Jose Aldo to win. This is a gut feeling. Do not expect any analysis from me. It's a gut feeling based on the line. The line is way too close. This screams to me Abus Magomedov versus what's his face? Someone help me out here. The big Brazilian guy that everyone was loving. He's coming off like a
Jared Cannonier.
No, Brazilian.
Caio Braga.
No. Abus Magomedov. He fought 2 weeks ago.
Pereira.
Pereira. Yes, Pereira. Yes. To me, this screams that fight. It's like a similar line. You would think Pereira would be a bigger favorite. I think, yes, it's similar age. He's only 1 year younger, but in dog years, as far as fight experience, Jose Aldo is like a million years old. I think it's going to catch up to him. I don't want it to happen, but I think this is the pick. Honestly, I'm probably not even going to bet it except for maybe 1 or 2 parlays. But I'm going to go with Ayman Sahabi, gut feeling. Shoot.
Jose Aldo was WEC champion in 2009. Holy shit. Fought his first loss in WEC UFC under the Zuffa banner, Conor McGregor. Second, Max Holloway. Max Holloway again. Volk. Split decision against Marlon Moraes. That was so egregious that Dana White gave him a title shot directly off of that robbery against Peter Yan. He was beating the shit out of Peter Yan. Got finished in the 5th round, much like Glover Teixeira.
He was not.
Then Marab and Mario Batista, which was also an egregious robbery.
Okay, well, all that aside, I'm picking Ayman Zahabi. Alex, I feel you. But no way. Picking Ayman Zahabi. Guys, I don't have to. He just looks like he's got more in the tank. Like he's gonna be able to win a boring decision. Everyone's gonna hate it, and that's my pick. Sorry. But anyway, I love your love story for Jose Aldo. At the end of the day, Ayman Zahabi may be only a year younger, but he's had a third of the fights. He's not taken a ton of damage. He got knocked out that one time. They're going to come in with a great game plan, and they're going to win the fight by smothering him up against the cage, maybe taking him down, staying at the end of the jab, not fighting within his range. The book's out on Jose Aldo. The book's not out on Ayman Zahabi. They're going to train him well, get him in there. He's going to win. Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. Again, same reason that I picked against Grasso. I'm picking for Shevchenko. I think, wow, like you could have got her at plus odds against Grasso at some points in the line. And this is Valentina Shevchenko. Like in hindsight, Grasso was never in that fight for a second. I think it'll be a similar situation here. I mean, you want to talk about age. This woman's 35, Valentina's 37. But Fiorot, I mean, she's competed. She's had 2 lives, really, right? She's competed in MMA. She's competed in the amateurs. I think she also did kickboxing and shit, like Valentina, right? I mean, it's not that she's 35 and only had 13 fights ever in her life. Like there have been, it's been a long career for her too. I think that Valentina takes her down at will. I think Valentina also is competitive on the feet. I think this is generous odds for the champ. I'm taking Valentina.
Boy, I hate this fight. I feel like matchup wise, Valentina should win normally, but I feel like Valentina is at the end of her career. Manon Fiorot is kind of reaching more of her apex, and I'm going to go with that over Styles. Man, that's pretty much all I could say here. I'm going to go with the hometown favorite here. No, she's not Canadian, but she's French, so obviously she'll get that push. It's going to be dicey. I'm going to go with Fiorot. Again, dicey. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of banking on Shevchenko to be more on the downslope.
Shevchenko, the first fighter in the new era of belts to complete all of the rubies around one of the circles on the side. Very remarkable. But I beg the question, did they just give her the same belt back because she lost the title and then gained it back? I don't know. I don't know if she should have all those rubies there. I think she should start fresh because she's had one title win, or she should start fresh. Alexa Grasso beat her. Alexa Grasso got the draw. She shouldn't have all the same rubies. I mean, I think the UFC is just cheap now. Maybe I don't know, but I'm going with Valentina. Easy pick. She's got far more dimensions to her game. She can take this fight wherever she wants. I think that she wins this, and then people start begging the differ. Should we make Shevchenko versus Wei Li Shang? And I think that's the answer here. No Allen Iverson. I'm going with Shevchenko. Can you just see Dana White going, I got two of the most badass chicks on the planet fighting each other?
Does that trophy survive Shevchenko, Dan?
No, Dan's taking the opposite. Next up, we got, remember the name, Belal Muhammad versus Jack Mandela. Mandela versus Muhammad, two visionaries, if you ask me. I am going to go with Belal Muhammad. And here's why. Belal Muhammad has a never-ending gas tank. He will be there. He will be putting pressure on Jack Della. The only way Jack Della wins is if he pulls a Lerone Murphy miracle out of his Leon Edwards ass and knocks out Belal Muhammad on some crazy shit. But I think if Basel Hafez is pushing you to your limits on 8 days notice, taking you down, riding you out, Gilbert Burns showed signs of life in there. What does Belal Muhammad do with you? Sure, Leon Edwards seems to have fallen off quite a bit. And I don't think this is his first defense, right? Yeah, so, but, you got to give credit to Leon Edwards. He was scheduled to fight Jack Della. Shavkat pulls out. Jack Della gets pulled from his fight. And then he ends up fighting Sean Brady, completely different stylistic matchup. So I don't want to throw Leon under the bus too much here. But that Jack Della performance against Basel Hafez was telling. This guy can't stuff a takedown. This guy is going to struggle against somebody with the pace, the pressure, the heart of a Belal Muhammad. I think Belal Muhammad decisions the fuck out of Jack Della Maddalena. He's going to decision him up and down. It's going to be the most dominant decision you've ever seen in your life, and it will come at the hand of Belal Muhammad. He'll move up to 185, and Islam Makhachev will fight for the vacant title against Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Going the opposite. I'm going Jack Della Maddalena to KO Belal Muhammad. It is what it is. I think that he's too loose, he's too nonchalant, and he's going to go in there loose and nonchalant and defend the takedowns enough to just KO Belal. Simple as that. Simple as.
For our main event here, I am relatively split. I think I'm going to go with Jack Della here. I think he is too tough. Going into the fight with Gilbert Burns breaking his arm midway through the fight and still being able to finish it, I think shows, again, keyword here for this card, a tenacity to get it done. I think the Basel Hafez fight taught him a lot about the grappling game within the UFC octagon. I think he will be wary of the takedowns, stay at range, land more powerful shots, and then also get the but get the crowd going more in his favor, sway the judges, more powerful, more impactful moments of the fight. And I think he's going to get this done. Decision or knockout, I don't know where it's coming from, but I think he gets the win. And I think that I'm going to end the night with a relatively high underdog here at plus 160. Pretty solid.
Yeah, Jack Della showed how much he learned from that Basil Hafez fight against Kevin Holland split decision and Gilbert Burns 3rd round knockout when he was down 2 rounds. So yeah, that he really showed growth in his last 2 fights since then. Didn't Kevin Holland like break his rib against RDR 5 months ago? This Kevin Holland, huh?
But yeah.
No. RDR broke his rib.
RDR finished him, but he quit on his soul and sold to say, I would know.
No, RDR broke his rib in a transition and Kevin Holland tapped out.
No. Anyway.
Okay. You're wrong, but that's fine. Oh, no, it was a rear naked. You're right. You are right. You are correct. I'm sorry. Roman Dolidze.
It's fine that we can all disagree, but I just, Alex, okay, what's the most entertaining thing that could happen? Belal loses, just like Aljamain Sterling did.
Yes, Luke.
Hold on.
No, Luke. Here's where you've got things fucked up, my friend. We are in the modern era of the UFC. What is most exciting never fucking happens.
Right. But
we are stuck with the most boring outcomes of all time. Islam Makhachev is the most exciting champion apart from Ilia Topuria, who is no longer a champ. So the most exciting guy we have.
DDP.
Okay, facts. The second most entertaining guy we have is from Dagestan. The third most exciting guy we have is from Dagestan. Neither of them are very exciting. DDP is the only exciting champ apart from John Jones, who hasn't fought in a year of a dog. So I don't know what to do anymore. I'm going with the fans want this. This is what's going to happen. Everybody hates Belal Muhammad. He's going to be champion for the next 8 years. Plain and simple. And guess what? He hasn't fucking defended yet. It feels like he won the belt 10 years ago already.
If Jack wins, it opens up a lot of doors. If Jack wins, all of a sudden, Islam moves up to fight Jack. All of a sudden, Belal moves into 185. All of a sudden, Ilya gets to fight for the vacant title at 155. It's what's
old
good.
Old one-eyed Belal said if he wins, he's going up to 185, Luke. So I don't know.
No, he didn't. He actually said, Islam, book your fight at 155 because I'm not losing. That's what he actually said most recently.
I heard him recently say that he's going up to 185 because
eventually.
This DDP guy. I don't see what's up with this DDP guy.
It's crazy ass.
The most entertaining outcome for many interested parties involved is that Jack Della Maddalena knocks Belal Muhammad the fuck out.
I agree, but that's not going to happen.
I hope it does. Okay, everybody, we love you so much. Let's run through our full picks top to bottom. If you're going with me, Jack Della Maddalena, underdog at the top. Val Shevchenko, Ayman Zahabi, underdog number 2. Natalia Silva, Benoit Saint Denis, Charlie Radke, underdog number 3. Jazzy J, Ion Kutalaba, maybe an underdog. I don't know. 4. Ivan Erslan, no bet. Marc-Andre Barriol, love it. Daniel Santos, Dan almost talked me into late. And Al Khan, parlay pillar. Those are my picks, everybody. Dan, Alex, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start from the bottom. I got Beksa Al-Makan. I got Jung Young Lee, Marc-Andre Barriol, Navajo Sterling, Ion Kutalaba, Jasmine Jazduvicius, Charles Chuck Buffalo Radke, HBK. We got Benoit Saint Denis, Alexa Grasso, Ayman Zahabi, Manon Fiorot, and Jack Della Maddalena.
Chef's kiss. Beautiful parlay, Dan. Love it. I'll be tailing
Rolling with me, we got Bekzat Almacan. Then we got Danny the Willy Cat Santos. Next up, Mark Andre Barriolt. Idaho, no Navajo, Sterling. And then we've got Modescas, Bukakis, Jessica Andrade, Charles Radke, Benoit Saint-Denis, Alexa Grasso, Jose Ardo, Valentina Shevchenko, and then remember the name, Belal Muhammad.
And the Trilby certified picks are going to be Beksat Almacan, Marc-Andre Barriol, Charles Radke, and Benoit Saint-Denis. Alex, I kind of thought you were going with Propolac when I came back from my break, but you picked Benoit Saint-Denis, so that'll Trilby certify him, as well as Charles Radke, Marc-Andre Barriol, and Almacan. For Trilby certified
BSD is a no bet on the other guy. He ain't winning.
For sure.
If you see odds like that, you take them.
And like we said, minus 155 to minus 170. That's your range. Obviously, if you can get them at plus 100, plus 200, plus 300, that's even better. I believe Charles Radke's an underdog. Marc-Andre Barriol might be an underdog. Almacan, borderline guy, and BSD, no bet. That would be the golden rule there. But either way, not financial advice. Entertainment purposes only. We love you. Thanks for joining the show. 4 Trilby certified picks for you. Full picks top to bottom. Everything listed out in the Patreon. If you can go to the Patreon, be a yearly member. Subscribe to the yearly membership. Justin, he'd like to see Natalie Silva versus Dakota. Yeah, me too. We have gambling addiction, and I didn't read the rest. I'm slow, but I don't know what he means. Cavs need to start worrying. Oh, he's talking about the NBA. We're obviously not watching. We're doing the show, but we love all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead, give us a like, give us a comment. Make sure you subscribe.
Cavs lost.
Go to the Discord. Cavs lost, my friend. Sorry to tell you. Go to the Discord, link in the description below. Go to the Patreon, subscribe for a full year or nothing. And we love you. Thank you very much. Year 6, onward and upward. We'll have even more stats for you next week, but we gave you the rundown of how we finished the year at the beginning of the episode. Go watch that. And good luck on this week's card, everybody.
Love you guys.
Love you. See you later, everybody.